If speaking in public makes your heart race or your voice shake or even your mind go blank, then you might be surprised to learn that this is actually not a confidence problem. In fact, it's what we call a nervous system response. And today, I'm going to show you how a simple science-backed tool can actually calm those nerves for you and help you speak more clearly. And all of that without having to fake confidence. Once we understand what's really happening in our bodies, that stress that we can feel when we're speaking in public actually makes a lot more sense. The thing is, public speaking anxiety is just our nervous system doing its job. Kind of funny to think about, isn't it? You know, when I used to stand up to speak in meetings or conferences, I could literally feel my body start to panic and shut down. In fact, I would react like I'd wandered into a lion enclosure with a bunch of lions that hadn't been fed in months, instead of walking into a meeting room or a conference. And physically, my heart would just start sprinting and my voice would develop some kind of mysterious wobble, which was fabulous. And to make things extra fun, my jaw would lock down. It was like I was protecting state secrets. And my mind, oh, absolutely gone, vanished. Everything I ever knew about the topic at hand had just left the building. All the preparation I had done had been completely eliminated from my head. At that time, my nervous system was already in charge, and it definitely did not ask my opinion before it took over. Now, after 2 decades of training and experience speaking, I understand what was actually happening. Now, maybe you've had this experience too, but when people are looking at us, when we're on stage or on camera or in meetings and we've got a bunch of people looking at us, our brain starts to think, I'm being judged. I'm exposed. And ultimately, what we're thinking is, could be dangerous. And that instantly triggers flight or fight mode. And all of this is happening before we can start to logically think our way out of it. And that's why advice like, oh, just relax. Well, that doesn't work. I know it certainly didn't work for me. Maybe that's how you've had people tell you to cope as well. But what does work is something very, very simple. Are you ready? Smiling. Yep, I'm serious. Just smile. What used to happen to me and what happens to so many people that I coach to be better speakers now is this. Right before we start to speak, we unconsciously hold our breath. And this tightens our jaws up. And because we're there, and this is important, we put on a very serious face. And the problem is our brain is constantly scanning and reading our face and our body, and it's looking for safety cues. So when our face looks tense and closed, our brain immediately thinks, uh-oh, something's wrong. Stay alert. There's danger about. But when we smile, even if we feel nervous, you know what happens with our physiology? Our jaw softens, and that makes our throat relax, and it causes our breathing to naturally slow down. And the interesting thing is these facial movements that happen, well, they send all this feedback to our brain. And this feedback, when we smile, it says, I'm alert, but I'm also safe. This is called facial feedback. And it's why our face can literally change how anxious we feel. I like to think of our nervous system like one of those smoke alarms, you know, the ones that sit in the kitchen. They're designed to go off fast, right? To keep us safe, even when there's no real danger. So public speaking, it's a bit like burnt toast coming out of the toaster, activating the smoke alarm. There's this loud noise and lots of panic, but no actual fire. Well, except for that one time, but we managed to put it out. So smiling is like kind of opening a window or waving a tea towel in front of the smoke alarm. It's telling our system this is not an emergency. So I think of smiling being like a nervous system regulation tool. And here's what the science shows. Facial muscles send signals back to the brain. So a smile lowers our threat response. It encourages a longer exhale, and that longer exhale activates our calming nervous system. It helps to relax our jaw, stop that wobbly voice. So the key point here is I'm not talking about faking it till you make it. We're not pretending to be confident. We're teaching our nervous system a brand new response to public speaking. A brand new response, not the one that we've had and held on to and cherished for years, but a brand new response. And repetition can train our brain through experience that it's a safe space. The more we do it, the better we get. That's why in my training, we have lots of practice opportunities so that we can train our brains. Now let's look at my 3 favorite ways to use smiles in public speaking. Number 1, before the talk. Before we go on stage or unmute on Zoom, sit up or stand up tall. And here's the important thing, these things here, they don't live under our ears. Relax the shoulders and then smile. Now at the same time, exhale slowly for about 6 seconds. So drop the shoulders and then breathe in normally and start the talk. Number 2, during the talk. It's also really good to use micro smiles during a talk. Now you can do this ideally during a pause or after finishing a sentence. Now these small resets, they keep our nervous system regulated while we speak. And they are especially useful if you have any kind of disruptions that go on during your talk, like tech issues or questions that might throw you off your flow. And you need to get refocused and back on track. Your smile can be your anchor and your reset. And number 3, big one here, huge one, after the talk. When we finish a talk, it's really, really important to make sure that we take a slow breath in and exhale and smile. And note to yourself in your head or out loud, I did it. That moment helps our brain store that experience as something safe instead of something dangerous. And that helps to reduce anxiety next time we have to speak. Now, smiling isn't the complete solution to public speaking anxiety, but it is a very powerful tool to have in your complete speaker toolkit. It's a simple science-backed way to calm our nervous system down so that fear stops hijacking our voices. Now, you'll hear me say this over and over and over again. Public speaking, confidence is nothing to do with talent and everything to do with technique. And this technique is about teaching our nervous system that being seen is safe. And it's one of the ways that I personally have gone from being terrified of public speaking to speaking internationally on stage. And even more important, I love it. I get such a buzz out of doing it. It's not by forcing confidence. It's about learning to stay calm under pressure. The thing is, once our bodies feel safe, our voice can finally do what it's meant to do. Now, if I can learn to be a compelling speaker, so can you.